Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, CJ Larkins, and this is The Thread of Life. Today's episode is centered around one of Neville Goddard's most profound teachings: feeling is the secret. Neville once said, "Have faith in your imagined acts as though they were already an accomplished fact." This concept challenges us to step into our power of imagination, where our feelings, thoughts, and intentions create the blueprint for our reality. If a physical state can produce a psychological state, then a psychological state can produce a physical state. This concept challenges us to step into the power of our imagination, where our feelings, thoughts, and intentions create the blueprint for our reality. If a physical state can produce a psychological state, then a psychological state can just as easily produce a physical state. Let's explore this powerful principle and learn how to manifest our desired life with clarity, intention, and faith. So today we're going to go over 3 main points: how psychological and physical states reflect one another, having faith in your imagined act, and a little bit of quantum thinking, and setting your intentions. So the first point we're going to cover in relation to the quote are the physical and psychological states and how they reflect one another. So if a physical state can produce a psychological state, then a psychological state can produce a physical state. To put this in simple terms, we have an idea to buy new clothes or to give ourselves a new look. The physical act of trying a new style can change our internal feeling and our outward appearance. With our new style, we can feel confident, cool, beautiful, in flow. We can buy new clothes, change our appearance, get a new haircut. These are ways that we can use style to express ourselves creatively, to express a feeling. Now, the thought or idea to change your style happens on the psychological plane. Actually, wearing the clothes happens on the physical plane. The idea caused a change, a ripple in the physical world. Think about a dream you've had, or a desire, a job, a relationship, a car, to move, to start a new life, get all A's, graduate at the top of your class, start a new booming business. How was or is your vision realized? Did you get exactly what you wanted? What did you actually envision? How detailed was your image? Do you live from this desired state? The result of our actions is in direct relation to the energy we use to create and live from our image. That feeling of your desire or wish fulfilled is a psychological state and produces the physical state. How we feel is expressed in physical form. Faith. Now we can take Neville Goddard's quote and apply it. Have faith in your imagined act or state. It will become so. The act of envisioning a state and living from that state is an act of faith. So have faith in your desired state and watch it bloom in your reality. Let's talk about the flow of things. How do you feel when you clean your home, your space, your car? Don't you get a sense of peace, a peace of mind? Energy is currency and it needs to flow. It cannot flow in clutter. When we bring order to our surroundings, our physical state, we can see this reflected in our mental state as clarity, organization. Our thought process become clearer. Illnesses we have battled with suddenly disappear, only reappearing when and if we allow these states of chaos or disorder to return. So what we are doing is changing our state, whether it's our state of mind or our surroundings. Does buying a new car alter anything in us internally? Maybe yes, maybe no, but it creates a feeling. Let's look at it like this. It's a transplant and you're the surgeon. Taking ideas, dreams, your own visions, and implanting them into your mind to produce the desired state. Like a gardener planting the seed of your desired state into your mind, reality is the harvest. And when we transplant these ideas, when we plant the seeds of our envisionings or desired states, we don't always have to wait for the seeds to germinate, sprout, bloom, and grow into this glorious garden. There's another way. We can use quantum thinking. We can collapse the space-time continuum to bring about our desired state. What does that mean? By envisioning this state and taking impassioned action, we bring these into our reality. Now, as we repeat the act of envisioning, you will see details of your imagined act in reality. Some will almost immediately see the manifestation of their state. That call for a job that you just applied to comes through, a deposit is made into your account, an opportunity meets you on your path. This happens when we are ready. Some things we do need to prepare for, really level up for, change some of our habits, let go of old things, and embrace the things we are passionate about. It is really up to us to be serious about what it is that we desire and why we desire it. We must ever hold good intentions in our hearts and minds. That's how we bring these states into our reality, by setting intentions. What is your why? To help others? To be successful? To be wealthy? Ask yourself why and allow your intuition to guide you and proceed from there. Florence Scovel Shinn affirms, in every good deed lies the seed of success. Napoleon Hill also tells us in Think and Grow Rich to include in our plans a charity or a way to give back to others. The universe works in exchanges. Ask and it shall be given. When thinking about our desired state and creating our imagined act, we must be specific, imaging details of a specific act that occurs once this state has been manifested on this plane. Neville recommends living from that state, to act as if it is already accomplished, to hold that feeling of achievement or peace or love or wealth or whatever your chosen state is. Let's end with 2 anecdotes relating to this topic that I know will really drive these points home. Two anecdotes. Neville Goddard shares a story by Robert Frost. Now, this is what I mean by living in the end. Robert Frost, just the year before he departed this sphere, wrote this story for Life magazine. And he said, "The founding fathers did not believe in the future. What a shock that they did not believe in the future. They believed it in," he said. "We are always imagining ahead of our evidence, and the most creative thing in man is to believe a thing in. They had no evidence to support their claim to democracy. They were under a king when they threw the king away and began to simply build a concept of the future. They did not believe that the mere passage of time would bring them that dream they believed in. And these men believed implicitly in the word of God. And they believe that if I know what I want when I pray, believe that I have received it, and I will. Well, if that precept is true, literally true, to be accepted literally and fulfilled literally, then what am I doing not believing? I should actually know exactly what I would like to be, and discovering what I would like to be against what I seem to be. Dare to assume that I am. And my assumption, although false, if persisted in, would harden into fact." And in the text, Anthony Eden is quoted. "That I know from my own experience, and I know it's a law. Therefore, if someone is not becoming the man that he would like to be, and they tell me, well, I once imagined it and it didn't work, then what are you doing now? And still, not imagining it? If imagining creates reality, what are you imagining?" Neville Goddard anecdote. Who knows what you are imagining? No one knows. But you can sit down and imagine, and no one can stop you from doing it. But can you give reality to the imagined state? If you do, yes, a bridge of incidents will appear in your world, and you'll walk across some series of events leading up to the fulfillment of the imaginal state. But don't give causation to any physical step that you took towards the fulfillment of it. You imagine yourself having a marvelous business, and then comes the day a building is for sale, and you haven't a nickel towards it, and not a total stranger, but a man comes in and asks you quite in a friendly manner, are you going to buy it? And knowing you don't have a penny, you say to him, as would a friend to a friend, with what? Then he says, well, I have money. It's only in the bank drawing nothing. You say, well, I have no collateral. But he says, I've watched you. You are an honest person. Your family, they are honest. I think they are. Would you like me to buy it for you and get my lawyer to bid for it? If they knew that I am bidding, they know that I have money, they will bid me up. And so I'll get it at the very lowest price by getting a lawyer who represents more than one client, and they do not know whom he represents. And he'll bid for it. Are you willing to take it regardless of the price? And you say, yes, I'll take it, but I have no collateral. All I need is your signature that you will simply pay 6% of whatever the price is, and then reduce that principal over a period of 10 years. Agreed? Yes. Well, then sign this, and we'll see if we can buy it. That day you own the building, and you don't have one nickel when you own the building that day. You only had your signature on a piece of paper. And at the end of 10 years, you repay the man his principal. You reduce it every year, pay him 6% on the remaining principal, and reduce the entire thing at the end of 10 years. The man died 20 years later and leaves you $150,000 in cash, tax-free, and a couple of homes, many personal belongings. In the meanwhile, you continue in that business, and it multiplies and multiplies. And that year was 1922 and 1924. This is now 1968. That building, I'm speaking factually, that building in 1924 is now gone. He paid only $50,000 for it. It was repaid and repaid. A bank 3 years ago bought the property. The building was rotted. Bought the property for $840,000 in cash and no capital gain. From $50,000 to $840,000. Meanwhile, the business has expanded into all the other islands, so that today you can't buy them for $15 million. All in imagination. And this goes back to the imagination that preceded this man's offer to buy the building. For the young man, seeing this building and entertaining the thought that the present owners deceived his father and through deception got him out of a partnership, a junior partnership, and he was moved not to get even, but to prove that he really had something within him and could be a success in spite of this deception. So every day he would see on that marquee, not their name, but his own family's name, and he would see it in his mind's eye, because you could not take their name and transliterate it and make it spell this man's family's name, but he saw it. In his mind's eye, he saw that name, which if true would imply the family owned it. He did it every day, twice a day for 2 years. And then came this sudden out of nowhere. The whole thing was made possible. And today they are all over the islands. They have no partners. They have never taken in one partner, never sold one bit of stock outside of the family ownership, all by imagination. Now I know what I'm speaking about because I am a member of that family. I am speaking of my own family. This is not hearsay. I know it. My second brother, Victor, in whose imagination this whole thing began to bloom, he still works all by imagination. He knows what he wants. And then after having decided in himself, that's what I want, and that's good for the business, he then, in his mind's eye, appropriates it and then lets things happen. As told us in scripture, the vision has its own appointed hour. It ripens, it will flower. If it be long, then wait, for it is sure, and it will not be late. I pose this question to myself and to us all. What are you imagining? What have you stopped imagining? Thank you all for joining me on this journey of exploring the power of imagination and the wisdom of feeling is the secret. I'll leave you with the 5 practical steps to apply. Feeling is the secret. If you were late or just joining us, here they are. Number 1, clean your space. Start by creating order in your surroundings. A clean environment fosters mental clarity and allows energy to flow freely. 2, plant the seed. Visualize your desired state as though it already exists. See it, feel it, believe in it. Take inspired action. Once you've planted the seed, look for opportunities to bring it to life. Even small steps can create momentum. 4, align with goodwill. Ensure your desires come from a place of love, purpose, and alignment with your higher self. 5, persist in faith. Remember, the bridge of incidents will appear. Trust the process and stay consistent in your imaginal acts. Stay connected with us and join the conversation. Follow us on social media for updates, inspiration, and behind-the-scenes content. You can find us on Instagram at The Thread Pod. Once again, that's The Thread Pod. I'll leave you all with this quote from Neville. Enact a scene that implies you have what you desire, and to the degree that you are faithful to that state, it will unfold in your world, and no power can stop it, for there is no other power. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings.